You are sitting on your couch, scrolling through your phone, looking at a spreadsheet for a job you do not entirely understand. Your lower back hurts from an ergonomic office chair that does not work. You have 3 unread emails from a manager named Greg. Your rent is due in 4 days, and you are currently agonizing over whether to buy the slightly more expensive organic peanut butter or the one that contains industrial palm oil. Your life is entirely safe, mostly comfortable, and profoundly suffocatingly overwhelming. Then you click on a video about an asteroid hitting Earth, or a zombie outbreak, or a sudden collapse of the global power grid. Your heart rate rises, your eyes widen, and somewhere deep inside your subconscious, a tiny quiet voice says, "Thank goodness." But the real answer is far stranger. You do not actually want to die. You do not want the world to burn. And you certainly do not want to forage for canned beans in a radioactive wasteland. Yet, your brain secretly finds the absolute destruction of modern civilization oddly comforting. Why does a mind built for survival fantasize about the end of everything? What is the hidden evolutionary bug that makes a catastrophic nightmare feel like an emotional vacation? To understand this psychological glitch, we have to look at what your brain was actually designed to do. For 99% of human history, your ancestors did not worry about credit scores. They did not worry about Wi-Fi signals, corporate synergy, or whether their lifestyle choices matched their personal brand. Their problems were brutally simple. Is that bush hiding a leopard? Is that water going to give me dysentery? Can I find a heavy rock before that other guy hits me with his heavy rock? Psychologist Dr. Shmuel Lissek at the University of Minnesota studied how the human brain processes fear and anxiety in modern environments. His research highlights a profound mismatch. Your brain possesses an ancient, highly optimized threat detection network centered around a tiny, almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. The amygdala is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. It has one job: keep you alive by turning you into a hyper-focused survival machine the moment danger appears. When a prehistoric human saw a shadow move in the tall grass, the amygdala fired instantly. It flooded the body with cortisol and adrenaline. It shut down non-essential functions like digestion and deep analytical thinking. It narrowed the visual field to a single sharp focus: the threat. In that moment, the human did not feel vague existential dread about the future. They felt absolute burning clarity. They ran, they fought, or they hid. The threat was real, it was tangible, and it was resolved in a matter of minutes. Either they escaped or they became lunch. Now, look at your life today. You still have that exact same amygdala. It is still pumping out cortisol and adrenaline, looking for threats to neutralize. But when you walk into your office or open your laptop, there are no leopards. Instead, there are passive-aggressive Slack messages, fluctuating interest rates, and an abstract sense that you are falling behind in a race you never signed up to run. These are what psychologists call chronic, low-grade, ambiguous threats. You cannot fight a corporate restructuring. You cannot run away from inflation. You cannot hit a toxic online discourse with a heavy rock. Because these modern threats are invisible and never truly end, your amygdala never gets its resolution. It stays permanently turned on, simmering at a low boil, bathing your nervous system in a constant, exhausting, toxic soup of unresolved anxiety. This is where the apocalypse comes in. An apocalyptic scenario is the ultimate neurological reset button. It takes all of your complex, invisible, abstract modern anxieties and instantly replaces them with simple, tangible, prehistoric ones. The moment the power grid fails, your student loans do not matter anymore. Greg from management is no longer your boss. He is just another guy trying to figure out how to start a fire with 2 sticks. The existential dread of "what am I doing with my life?" is instantly erased by the clear, urgent question of "where can I find clean water today?" The apocalypse cures your modern anxiety by giving your ancient brain exactly what it was built for: a visible enemy. Anthropologist Dr. Lawrence Sugiyama has spent decades studying hunter-gatherer societies and the evolutionary psychology of human storytelling. He notes that human minds are hardwired for what he calls crisis subroutines. We are uniquely adapted to cooperate, share resources, and find deep communal purpose during acute catastrophes. When a real crisis hits, human tribal instincts kick in. We stop looking at our differences and start looking at how to keep the fire burning. In our hyper-individualistic modern world, you are incredibly isolated. You live in a concrete box, buy food from strangers at a supermarket, and interact with human beings through glass screens. You are surrounded by thousands of people, yet you feel deeply alone. An apocalyptic fantasy promises an instant cure for this loneliness. In the movies, the survivors are never sitting alone in a cubicle. They are part of a tight-knit, fiercely loyal tribe. They sit around a campfire, sharing a single can of peaches, knowing that every single person in that circle has their back. The apocalypse, paradoxically, offers a world where you finally matter to the people around you. It offers a life stripped of superficial distractions, where your worth is measured by your utility to the tribe, not your bank account. It is a deeply seductive lie. Your brain craves the apocalypse because it is a form of cognitive laziness. It is far easier to imagine the entire world burning down than it is to imagine fixing your life within the world we currently have. It is easier to fantasize about a zombie horde than it is to have an awkward conversation with your partner, change your career, or address your financial habits. The end of the world is the ultimate excuse to stop trying. But there is a counterintuitive twist to this psychological craving. When you watch these disaster movies or play these survival video games, you are never the background extra who gets crushed by a falling piece of debris in the first 30 seconds. In your head, you are always the protagonist. You are the rugged survivor with the perfectly timed one-liners, navigating the ruins of society with effortless competence. This is what psychologists call the optimism bias, a concept famously explored by neuroscientist Dr. Tali Sharot. Your brain is naturally wired to overestimate the likelihood of positive outcomes for yourself while underestimating the likelihood of negative ones. When you imagine the world ending, your optimism bias completely filters out the horrific reality of cholera, extreme cold, dental infections without antibiotics, and the sheer exhausting boredom of trying to survive without a logistics supply chain. You do not actually want the apocalypse. You want the feeling of having survived it. You want the profound, overwhelming relief that comes when the danger has finally passed and the world falls silent. You want to look at a blank slate and feel like you have a second chance to build something real, something that matters. Which brings us right back to where we started. Tonight you are going to close your laptop, turn off your phone, and lie down in a bed that is perfectly shielded from the elements. You will be surrounded by a complex, fragile, incredibly beautiful civilization that ensures clean water comes out of your tap and food sits in your refrigerator. Your life is safe, your future is uncertain, and your brain is currently looking for something to worry about. But the next time you find yourself scrolling through images of ruined cities, or feeling a strange thrill at the prospect of everything falling apart, take a deep breath. Recognize that voice for what it actually is. It is not a desire for destruction. It is a quiet, desperate plea from an ancient hunter-gatherer trapped inside a modern machine, begging for a simpler world, a tighter tribe, and a clear reason to fight. You do not need the world to end to find that clarity. And you just need to look past the screens, step out of the cubicle, and remember what your brain was actually built to protect. Because tomorrow morning when the sun comes up, you're going to open your eyes, look at your phone, and find yourself right back on your couch, staring at a spreadsheet for a job you do not entirely understand.